Graeme, 6 games left. It's all come around quite quickly, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. Yeah, it's when you look back and reflect on everything, what's like I said, the season from coming in from beginning of December. When you look back, it hasn't half gone quick. And like you said, these 6 games now, like trying to get. Well, from the disappointments of last week and just a response now going into what's been a tough run. The games we've come up against it seem to be at the moment of time someone in the top 3 or pushing the top 3 places, which is what we wanted. We wanted them challenges, but we have to be at our game to be in them games, and I felt as though we were way off it on Saturday, but hopefully we'll get a response on go against Forest Green, who best team in the league.
You said it there. It was disappointing last week. You've had a little bit of time to reflect, and obviously have a Tuesday night game. What have you brought away from that game? As we head into the last 6.
We stood off them. We got a habit at the moment when we lose the ball, dropping off instead of going to get it back, and things we did really well through the patch of winning games was. We were quite aggressive on the front foot and trying to win the first and second balls, and we're inviting the pressure on far too much, and we're lacking contact. And we, especially on Saturday, we stood off a team who were fighting for everything and allowed them to advance up the pitch and put balls in our box, and we just didn't win any first and second balls, which is part and parcel of the game. That's the basics of the game we have to do. So we're trying to get into them, rectify that through training, and like I said, we can't afford to do that on Saturday because you're going up against Forest Green, who, like I said, top of the league and the best team in the league.
How much can you put it down to a tough run of games that we've had? Because over the last 6-7 weeks we've played 2 teams who've just brought new gaffers in, so all that momentum, and you've played multiple teams who are all in a chance of a playoff place. Yeah,
look, it's a tough run, like I said, but it still doesn't mean you can't fight and battle, and the basics of the game we have to do right, and we just far too much set off, and the reaction I want to see is being aggressive and on the front foot. We've done the opposite and we set off, and that for me just invites pressure on, and you don't get a foothold in the game. And we didn't move the ball quick enough in possession. When we did, we actually got in good areas and created good opportunities, but didn't create enough in the final third, and it was just spits and spats and not a full game, and the tempo was nowhere near what we wanted.
Forest Green this weekend, then how do you analyse them, a team that's been probably top of the league since the very start, high flying, a little bit of a drop off, could you say? Or
well, I looking at going through the fixtures, you thought, all right, they're having a little bit of a wobble about 3-4 weeks ago, but then, as good teams do, they've had 3 1-0 wins on a bounce, which I've watched games and bits and the goals and things and performances, but if you're winning 1-0s, that's a team who got the eye on going up. That's a type of form. If you might not be performing as well as you want to do, but you're getting over the line and you're getting the wins. I went to the Middlesbrough game last night, Fulham 1-0 win away from home at Middlesbrough. That's what top of the table gets you, being the top team in the league. And if you can take 1-0s and keep clean sheets, they're going to be in a chance. They've got exciting players. They have got exciting players, and they go forward quick. And we've got to be, like I said, we've got to be at our best to compete. And if we do that, we can hopefully cause them problems.
Have you spoke to Tony Sweeney about the reverse fixture? Because when they came to the Suit Direct, went 3-0 up in 25 minutes or something, they'd blown us out the park.
Yeah, I mentioned it, and then we just put it to one side. He mentioned from going in, we spoke about better teams in the league when the first month was going in, and who's the teams, what type of players, and Forest Green, he said by far the best team in the league, what he'd seen at the time. And they're still doing it, they're still up there, they're still top of the league, so we know we've got a challenge, but I want to see us fighting and scrapping and for every little ball on that pitch and working for each other and being brave and wanting to create, wanting to block shots, wanting to get your head on things and fight till the end of the season.
Are you wanting to see a similar performance of Newport County a few weeks ago?
Newport was, yeah, exactly. That's why I'm open to response that we're going up against top of the league, and the lads are going to have that challenge and want to challenge themselves and compete themselves against the best in the league, and how's it been like on the
training pitch then an opportunity without that Tuesday game to have a couple more days, the lads to recover and get themselves back in? How's it been?
Yeah, it's good. Like I said, Tuesday we highlighted what we lacked on Saturday, and we put that into practice on Saturday. And Tuesday's session was really high intensity, got a lot into the legs, but really aggressive. Got us squeezing the pitch up and trying to win first setting balls and moving the ball quick and just waiting for each other. What we were, just good habits, trying to get the good habits back on them and highlight that with the seasons. We're still fighting, we're still working hard and training and still doing the right things.
Injury news then, I know you never like to give too much away, but obviously Bryn Morris missed out last weekend, so firstly, how's he?
Like I said before, Bryn we were trying to assess how it responds, so a few more days rest on it and see if we can do that. If he responds, he'll train today, so hopefully that show. If there's a slight improvement on that, then we know how we can manage that. From, like I said, he could play Saturdays and do work what he needs to do till Thursdays and get back on the training pitch. So if it works, then fingers crossed we can get him out of there.
Anyone else struggling with injuries at the moment?
There's been a few scares with illnesses and different things, but now we should be just, like I said, just Cookie and a few knocks as you're going to. I don't think I ever played a game being 100%, so you've just got to sometimes get on with it.
He was next on my list, Jordan Cook. How do you assess his season? Because you see fans sometimes saying, how is Jordan Cook? You see him in little training videos here and there, but how do you assess his rest of the season?
It's been frustrating. Obviously, he's not going to be fit this season, so it's been a frustrating one. Because for me coming in, he was training. He looked bright and sharp. He got his opportunity. I can't remember which game it was now. Was it Oldham?
He scored offside, isn't he?
Yeah, he scored offside, but he was really bright for that, and then he gets a bad thigh injury, which is unfortunately lasted longer than what we are. John will assess, we'll give him an opportunity. I have to sit down with Jordan about his plan for him going forward with us, because he might be someone who can offer us something if we get him fit.
Just off the field then, and finally from me, it announced the last away game of the season. The tradition, fancy dress, continues after 2 years off, and it's doctors and nurses to pay tribute to the NHS and all the fantastic work they've done. Are we going to see yourself and Tony Sweeney in a doctor's suit? Or? I
actually thought about that. Should we put a little white suit on the side? I'll put Sweeney's in the nurse's outfit. It'll be no, I think it's brilliant. I think for the, obviously, touching for the NHS, but I'll imagine there's going to be some funny sights on that on them and in the stands, because none of the poolies, it won't all be just a straightforward doctors and nurses outfits. There'll be some exciting ones, so I look forward to it. It's an amazing thing to do each year. I think it's fantastic, and it gets everyone talking about it. And I remember seeing them in the Smurf outfits, and I thought amazing, brilliant. So this one be another enjoyable moment.
Brilliant. Thanks,
Cheers.